Well, good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How's everybody doing?
We're making it.
You're making it. It's a bad time of year in the school business.
Oh, yes.
Testing end of the year. Everybody kind of loses their grip. People forget the rules, have amnesia, kids included. Oh, me. Well, a long time ago in a land far, far away, um, I went out to a school, a high school, and it was about this time of year. And on the east side of Charlotte, not to call any names in Mint Hill at Independence, but when I got there, I thought they were having field day. There was more kids out in the yard than there was in the building. And now, full disclosure, the principal had been relieved of his duties a few days before, and the lead AP was in charge of things. And he said to me, "Well, it's the end of the year. We're trying to get through." I said, "Sam, how you end this year is exactly how you'll start next year. You're establishing the new norms for this building, um, and you think it's bad now. Um, it's going to be much worse at the beginning of the year. If you start at this, it's only going to get worse." So we had to get Sam some help and try to get establish some order, get kids back in the room, and start again. So my point of that long-winded story is, you can't let your guard down. You can't ease up. They're not going to be puppies. They're not going to roll over and let you scratch their bellies. You're going to have to whip them every day, especially this time of year. And that's the big kids and the little kids. That's adults and students are going to be need to be reminded of what the rules are. And so um, this is a personnel class, and this is one of the first lessons of personnel. Um, we can't get started slow because it's the beginning of the year, or end bad because it's the end of the year. The expectations have to be the same first day, last day when working with personnel. All right, so it's 7 o'clock. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock. Well, thank you all for joining me. I'm hoping I don't have too bad internet trouble tonight. My landline is out and I'm working off of a cell, so hopefully we'll be okay. But I'm just going to run through the shell right quick. Y'all have all been with me before. You know the deal. It'll look exactly like it always does. Only thing is, I have a new picture. Now, I do feel bad that Vivian East was running late to graduation, and so I only have 10 of my 11 this spring. Did you hear me? I had 11 this spring. So let me share my screen. Um, and go to our class shell. And there they all are, other than Vivian East, right there. Look at that. Look at that group. Does that not look like America? Um, and so, and so that was my bunch this spring. DeMarcus, Joe, Carter, um, Amanda, Sarah, Miranda, Marquise, Tiffany, Sean, and Kay. And as I said, Vivanice, she was running late. And so I had to stand up during the service and get her into the gym, but we got her across the stage. And so there's the dirty dozen from the spring, me counting me. So remembering every day, this is our goal right here, is to get across that stage. We always have to start with the end in mind. There it is, right there from the spring. That's a hard-working group. Put up with me. All right. So we run through the shell right quick. I won't try to keep you all night. All right. Make sure you do your enrollment verification. Here's the link every week you can click on. It'll take you directly. Here's the link. There's a link right here. Y'all can't see it yet because I've got to get my other class meets before y'all. And so I'll open it up next week after I feed them next weekend for you to order your breakfast from Bojangles. We'll have Bojangles, the first Saturday. Meet your instructor. That would be me. What else have I got here? Oh, there's the big picture. You get the full effect from that one. You can see that bunch. All right. And introduce yourself. Make sure you tell us about you. Everybody knows everybody by now, but that's okay. So here's our class schedule, and you know how that works. So first night Zoom, and then we'll meet next week on Zoom, and then the first weekend will be the 6th and the 7th, and then another class. And remember, you know how we do. We just do student presentations, and I'll try not to take too much of your time at the weekly classes other than tonight. And then our second weekend, this is the weekend. This is our second weekend, and so we've got some things to do there. I may need to move some things around into that weekend, but I think we're good. All right, and then class, and then the last weekend, and then the last Zoom. We got 5 Zoom classes and 3 weekends. And so here's your chapter assignments. I just went right down the line. And this is from Glickman, and that one's Bowman and Deal. So there's your assignments. Um, and so um, here's the residency schedule so you can see if you need to do a makeup. I'll be there every weekend this summer. So if you can't come to one, I'll be there at some point. And so again, our weekends are 6th and 7th, the 27th, 28th, and the 18th, 19th. And so you can see all the different weekends. And as I said, I'm there every weekend. So if you miss, there's always a time for you to come. All right. This is the link to my sign up where you can sign up. As you can see, I've only got the rest of this month, but I'll add the others probably next week, the rest of the months of the summer. If you need to sign up and see me about class or dissertation.
I'm gonna be because that's
All
pretty good.
right. All right. And here's the schedule pulled out separately. If you just want to look at who goes when and where, there it is. Here's your Glickman textbook. Here's your Bowman and Deal textbook. I've already bought them. All you got to do is download them and read them. Nothing to buy. Here's your assignment. When you get your weekly done, just put it in the Dropbox there. Textbooks, that just tells you what they are if you wanted to buy them. I think that gives you no, they're both still there, but if you want to buy them, you can. Clinical log, 30 hours, you know that. There's the Dropbox. If you want to see what I did when I did my weekly, this is an example of one that I did last semester or semester before. This is a real good book on um, dissertation book that can help you. It's pretty cheap, not expensive at all. That kind of gives you the ins and outs of using the AI during your dissertation process, what to do and not to do. University resources, graduate study, Blackboard, syllabus. There's the syllabus if you need it, the grading policy, y'all know that. Graduate student handbook. All right, our evidence this semester is the EDP, the Employee Development Plan. I've given you the template and the guidance here. I've given you an example of a longer one and a shorter one. You know, shorter one's fine with me. If you want to do a longer one, that's up to you. Here's the rubric steps for success. Here's where you upload your parts. Here's where you put your final one in the Dropbox. Here's your turn it in check. Um, District school administration materials. We'll be going over those dissertation materials. We'll go over those. Zoom class 1, here's old videos. Zoom class 2, you'll start your presentations. So there's the schedule. That's all we'll do. Weekend 1, we'll do adult learning, Andrew Yogi, Knowles, Hertzberg. I've got some really nice articles from the last month or so here that we'll talk about, so you ought to read some of these. They're quick and easy reads. their modern day personnel, um, things, stop being nice, skill for success, why employees are leaving, three retiring principals, why they're leaving, the practice. These are very practical things. Hertzberg, master scheduling, we've gone over some of this. Sunday presentation the first week. You have a district recruitment activity in Dropbox, a mentoring activity, and the interviewing activity. So you need to get started on those. Now, on that first Sunday that we'll just talk about those like we're having an executive meeting. You don't have to get up if you don't, if you want to do a outline or whatever, that's fine with me. If you want to do a PowerPoint, if you want to get up and show your PowerPoint, that'll make me happy too. Second weekend is human resources from the district level. And here are the things that we'll need. Second weekend presentation. Um, my human resources department assignment, uh, human resources plan template, human resources PowerPoint Dropbox, HR director, and interview 2-page summary. And then the next Zoom class again, and then weekend 3, human resources from the school level, managing human resources for school administrators. That's a really, really good one. Obviously, I didn't make it if it's a good PowerPoint, but it's a really good one. You can tell I didn't make it. It's got too much color on it for me, too many moving parts. And some really good articles here for our last weekend. Our last Sunday presentation will be your employee development plan presentation of your 4 parts and your total one, and then our last 2 Zoom classes. University resources as usual, graduate study, getting started in your course. All right. Yeah, that's it. So that's pretty much it. It's the same thing. Every week we will do student presentations on our Zoom where you will present your your chapters and we'll talk about them and I'll fill in. And then on the weekends, on Saturday, I'll do my part, and on Sunday, you'll do yours. Um, we'll have a big time. Again, we'll have biscuits the first weekend. We'll figure out, I don't know, we might get somebody to cater us something this summer. Sounds good to me. Uh, I've been thinking about that. Who might want to cater us something that's uh, not too expensive? All right. Look at me. I'm 3 minutes early here. Um, anybody have anything? Any questions? Y'all know the drill. Um, uh,
Well, one thing I want to ask, Dr. Lamb,
uh-huh.
could you please have your shepherd pie?
Yeah, we can make shepherd's pie, and we can
Please.
make taco pie, or we can make shepherd's pie. Yeah. That's what I said. We'll do breakfast, and then we'll cater one, and then we'll have the potluck at the end, like we always do, where we'll bring stuff. Yeah, I'll bring a taco pie or shepherd's pie. Yeah, I got to make something. Um, I've got some ideas for that one. Yeah, we'll have that one on the last weekend. The middle weekend, we'll probably cater from somewhere, or we'll just call Jason's Deli and they'll bring us something over. I like that too. That's easy. Just calling them.
Dr. Lamb, this is Stamara Jones. Brittany and I were added later, so we didn't see our name on the week for presenting.
I don't believe I'd have told that.
I mean, it's perfectly fine on my end.
I'll give up a week if you want to
I was
present.
about to say,
That's
I
the
don't,
first
you know,
weekend. We'll figure that one out when
I
we
was
figure
gonna
out
let
if
it.
everybody's here or not. I'll
Okay.
assign you something else. There's a couple of outside documents that I have in the shell that
Yes,
I'll
sir.
assign to y'all to cover.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll do
Dr.
that.
Lamb, as a
Yeah.
servant leader, I will be happy to give up one of my 3 chapters for next Tuesday.
Amen to that.
Boy, I tell you what,
I don't know. Next Tuesday. I
this
think
this
I found
crowd,
my name somewhere.
I
It's
just
talking about
don't.
next Tuesday.
Well, but
I
that
think
would
I
be
saw it in
so
the.
nice of you. But we'll figure that out. But thank you for pointing that out. Um, and so yes, I will. I'll make sure that you have the opportunity, and somebody might can do that. Now, as always, if you got something else going on. Uh-oh, my camera's froze. There it came. If y'all got something going on and you need to trade with somebody, that's perfectly fine, as long as we have somebody to present. Or if you can't come, give me advance enough notice so I can do it for you if something, comes up. Because we need to make sure we cover our content. But I've got a lot of the small articles. I really like those for personnel because they're modern, they're new, they're right now. Personnel changes about every 6 months. You can't, I mean, the world has changed. It changed nothing like before COVID, but it's even changed since the year after COVID. It's changed again. Um, and so I like these articles that I pulled together. Now they're not scholarly articles; they're just they're journals, and trade magazines. But they offer good insight and thought, people's opinion. But the good thing about them is I told you that the last big personnel article project that I did took 8 years. I collected data for 7.5 years. That's too slow. But the beauty was I did it before, during, and after COVID and showed how the theoretical perspective shifted during that time from Deci and Ryan's expectancy to Vroom's uh, contingency to Hertzberg's two factor. It shifted during that time. Well, if you're doing scholarly work, that's it. But scholarly work takes forever. The beauty of those little short articles is they're new. They're now. They were written last week or the week before, and they exist that they display or portray current conditions. And that's one thing you're going to have to learn about personnel is you got to be quick and fluid and fast and move with it, or you get run over. Things go bad in a hurry in personnel. You got nobody, um, or you have to lay people off, and things have to, like in Winston, where it just blows up all at one time. Next thing you know, you're having to lay off people left and right, and then you figure out, well, we can't do that. We got to have these people, and then you're trying to hire them back, and you just end up um, uh, in the mess that they're in. Um, and we'll have to let Soné and some of the others tell us about how it's going there. But just as an outsider, one of those ladies, go back, let me share my screen. Um, they go here and here. This lady right here, if you can see Sean, she's the principal, middle school principal in Winston. Um, and again, now this is my take, not hers. But talking with her pretty much every day all spring as we were working through dissertation, I don't think that things are going nearly as well as the internally as we're trying to portray externally in that district. And that's one of the things that we're going to have to talk about from district human resources is, do you tell the truth, or do you do the marketing strategy? Um, the problem with doing the marketing strategy is you sell a bill of goods that isn't there, and the people that you do get don't stay but a few minutes and leave you. I think that's been the biggest problem in Winston is when they've hired people that when they brought them in, they only stayed a minute and then they were right out the door again. Um, and so I think that's the issue there. But hopefully we'll learn a little something about personnel. I'll get to talk about Knowles and Andragogy and Hertzberg, and I'll be happy anyway. Y'all probably won't be, but I will be. All right, I see my time is up. I didn't want to keep you but 15 minutes tonight. Y'all got stuff to do. All right, so I will see you again next Tuesday on the 26th at 7 o'clock, and we'll have our first chapter presentation. Somebody remind me who that is.
Oh, Dr. Lamb, it's me, chapters 1 through 3.
All right.
And I'm Danielle, 4
All
through
right.
5.
All right. Sounds good.
I just believe it was alpha order. So I'm going to lay my faith that it was alpha order.
Yeah, of course it was.
Okay.
Of course it was. I mean, now you got to remember, you know, my age and my background. That's all I've known all my life is alphabetical order. I might not be able to breathe if we were to change that system. that's just how life works. When you're dealing with old folks, that's how it goes. All right. Well, it's good to see you all again. I'll see you next week. If you need anything, just holler. Let me know. Sign up if you need to just want to talk about your dissertation or what you might do. If you just want to talk about anything, sign up. Again, I'm gonna put more dates on there in another week. As soon as my wife gets her second eye done here, she's one-eyed right now. She's only had one of her two eyes done on her cataracts, but we get the next one done next week, and I'll know my schedule a little bit better for June. So um, it's hard being old. Don't tell her I said she was old. Um, I'd hate to get whipped. Um, but yeah, as soon as I know my schedule a little bit better, I'll fill that out. And if you don't see a time, just give me a call or an email, and I'll make you a time. All righty. Okay. Anybody have anything for the good of the group? All right, we're done then. I will see you next Tuesday at 7 o'clock. Everybody be safe. Good night.
Dr. Lamb, we appreciate you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
I appreciate y'all.
Dr. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Take care, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.